Alright, so I had someone ask me what bike I ride, and I thought about it, and on my whole channel, I've done all these videos, and I've never actually showed anybody what my bike looks like from, other than my gauge cluster of me sitting on it. So I figured that it was as good a time as any with the bike nice and dirty from all the salt and the snow in the middle of the winter. You can see all the salt on it and everything. I figured, you know what? It's as good a time as any to do a little walk around of it. You know what? This is how the thing looks a lot of the times. It's not always pretty and all shined up because I ride the thing. So I figured, what the heck? I mean, I may as well show it to everybody in its natural state. What we have here is a 2005 Sportster Roadster. It is all stock except for the suspension and the slip-ons and the air cleaner that I put on it. Or actually, that the previous owner put on it. So it's basically stage one. The slip-ons, the Screaming Eagle slip-ons, the Screaming Eagle intake, and the carb has been rejetted accordingly by the dealer who installed all that stuff before I bought the bike. So I would have put them on if I had owned it. But anyway, so with the suspension, what we have in the suspension is we have 18.5-inch progressive fork springs, which are the tallest ones I think they make for the sport. Well, they should be the tallest ones they make for the Sportster. And then on top of those, I have a 2-inch spacer, I think is what they came with. I didn't measure it. I just put the full-length spacer in there, and it seems to be pretty good length for my weight. And then that has 15 weight fork oil, I think, in it. And I want to make the spacer a little taller, and I want to go down a little bit on the fork oil so that I get a little bit quicker compression and rebound. But I got to get it on the curvies a little bit, on the twisties, to test that. I'm not 100% sure yet if that's what I want. So I got to see. I haven't been able to. It's been, it's still winter here. I can't really blast around turns without falling and dying on sand. So I haven't been able to do that. But anyway, these bags are just some cheap $100 saddlebags I got from a local bike dealer. The leather's not bad, but the bags themselves are pretty low quality, and the stitching is all ripping on them. So I'm gonna have to replace them. They look like crap too because they're all deformed. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with them. I'm not really sure yet, but I'll do something. The pipes have been modified. The baffles are basically gone. I don't run baffles. The only thing, they're straight piped. The only thing that's left is a little bit on the outside so that I get a little bit of back pressure to increase my exhaust velocity and keep the performance of the bike up. And I've had this thing over 120. It hasn't lost power. I have a video of it on YouTube. Actually, no, I don't have the video on YouTube. I didn't want to put it on YouTube. But yeah, I have a video going over 120. So it has power. I'm not too concerned about that. And in back here, I upgraded the rear suspension to progressive suspension 412s, and they're the 13.5-inch ones. Stock suspension height on the rear on a Roadster is 13.25 inches, which is very tall. But I said, you know what? I want it a little bit taller. I wanted to get the 430s, but they didn't make them in 13.5, so I'm like, you know what? I'd rather step down on the shock, save a little money, and get the height that I want. And this bike's, you can't see it because of the saddlebags, but you can see air between the tire and the fender, which I personally love. Most people hate that. Most people like to see, like the fender as low on the tire as possible. But, I mean, you can kind of see it, that the fender, you can see air, and I personally love that. I love the look of a bike that's all jacked up high, because that means you can go faster on the turns, which is what I love to do. So, speaking to that, you can see that my pegs have long been, worn in. This one hasn't, only because the exhaust has taken the brunt of it. We have some battle scars on this bike, I can tell you that. That whole exhaust has just been scraped against the ground multiple times. Just having hell of a lot of fun in the twisties. Like I said, the air cleaner stage 1, so it has no backing plate, but otherwise it looks stock anyway. And then this peg is taking a beating as well. You can see that one's pretty beat up. That one's ground flat. And then that highway peg has too. The story behind this mismatched shifter peg, I lost it somewhere in upstate New York, and I couldn't find it, so we now have a mismatched foot peg. But that is what it is. So, being an '05, this bike is carbureted. Being a Roadster, it has the dual gauges, which that part you at least knew from my videos. I can show you the mileage quick. It's 25,354. And I've actually ridden 240 miles this year. And that's been with one of the coldest winters on record, so that's not terrible, I guess, when you consider it. But I've got Michelin Commander 2 stock size, so that's 150 80 16 on the back and 190 19 on the front. This one's about brand new. Well, no, it's got about 3,000 miles on it now, actually. Maybe more like 2 now that I think about it. This one's got about, the front tire has about 13,000 on it, I think. And it's actually doing quite well. I mean, it's getting low. I'm getting to the point now where I am close to the wear bar. But, you know, I'm going to run it for another 2,000 miles. You know, it'll be safe for another 2,000 miles, I believe. So I can't complain. I mean, for the way I ride this bike, to get 15,000 miles out of a front tire, you know, potentially, that I'm not complaining at all. But like I said, I mean, it's all dirty right now. I'm actually going to clean it sometime this week, get it all nice and shiny again, and hopefully by then the weather will start to clear up. It's actually freezing rain outside right now. Let me get a little shot of that, just to show you what it's like living here. All right, so this is what it's like to live in freaking upstate New York. This is the middle. This is late March, right? And look at this on the ground. This is all. It's all frozen rain. It's all sleet and whatever you want to call it. And it's just nasty stuff. Absolutely nasty stuff. But what are you gonna do? That's what happens when you live in New York, I suppose. But one of the things I want to do is take my bike back there in the woods at some point. One of my goals. The only other non-stock stuff on this bike are the previous owner put on this plastic chrome tail lamp cover, which the chrome is shit quality, and I don't even know why I left it on there. I want to take it off because it looks like crap in person. I just kind of haven't gotten around to it. Then he put red blinkers on it instead of the yellow with these chrome rings, which I kind of like the chrome rings. They're also on the front, whereas a stock Sporty would just have the color of the light, like here. See, a stock bike just has the light, you know, like that. I kind of like the chrome ones, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of a stock. I like things stock for the most part, so that's the only thing that kind of screws me up with that. But anyway, and then it has a quick detach sissy bar, which also came with it. That's what it sounds like started up. Kind of got a yell over the bike, but it's pretty loud. It's just how I like it though. I like the American flag. I always run with an American flag. Gotta support our troops, you know. I mean, every day I look at this bike and I see that flag and I realize that they're the only reason that I'm able to do this and I'm able to make these videos and I'm able to ride is because of them. And I don't want to forget that. So I put that flag there so I can't forget that. And anybody driving by me doesn't forget that as well. They can see that flag and realize that the reason I'm able to ride this is because of them. So thank you for any military members that are watching this video possibly. You know, they're the ones that make all this possible. Them and Harley Davidson, of course. I guess the bike has to exist.